This cute video you posted yesterday.
Oh my god.
Can you hold this and translate some of it and tell us?
So I think a poem, but it doesn't feel like a poem anyone knows.
Okay.
It's about a monkey who's very naughty and climbs coconut trees. So it could be about you. Because Adarsh loves climbing trees and how the coconut has fallen on my head and I took him on the motorcycle.
And you don't know what
to do. And I was I was an enthu kid.
You both also tell me this. How was childhood? Were you like an extrovert, introvert?
I think it was during my teenage years that I started getting conscious of certain things, and I think it happens to most people. And then you have to figure how to then again bounce back, because if you've decided to be an actor, you have to be shameless.
My KG and my nursery was in Balia only. I couldn't speak English or Hindi. मैं सिर्फ भोजपुरी में बात करता था. So that was the best part, because my baba used to pamper me a lot, and my dadi.
This entire story when he came, what were the things that you were like, wow, this is very real and my story?
Arjun and Nandini and Karan and Zoya and everybody who was responsible in casting us saw the essence of each of the characters that we've played.
All the characters which I have played till date
Right.
are nowhere close to. I don't rap. People thought I was a rapper.
Yeah, we all made you in every interview.
Sure.
Ek line.
I don't cheat.
You did an interview during Dream Girl 2 and you said you're not that bad with phones. You're okay.
I don't know. I think it depends, honestly. Like, I'm better with social media now. Like, I don't use it as much. But, like, I'm still on my phone a lot to talk to people. I've changed, at least I'm not on social media.
Right. Guys, welcome to Bollywood Hungama.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Congratulations. I watched your film. I think it's thoroughly entertaining. It's extremely mature. It tackles the right subjects and each one of you are exceptional. Loved it.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you so much, sir.
So I'm going to first go to Ananya's Instagram and this cute video you posted yesterday.
Oh my god.
Can you hold this and translate some of it and tell us? It is very cute.
Are you reciting a poem?
I'm reciting a poem, but it doesn't feel like a poem anyone knows.
Okay.
It's about a monkey who's very naughty and climbs coconut trees. So it could be about you. Because Adarsh loves climbing trees and how the coconut has fallen on my head and I took him on the motorcycle.
And you don't know what to do.
And I was an enthu kid. Like, I didn't need anyone to tell me to sing, dance.
But did you make up this
I
poem?
think I did.
did?
I've
Wow.
never heard this poem. Have you all heard this monkey
No,
naughty
that's
poem?
why I thought
I don't think so. Yeah.
But you were always comfortable on camera. You enjoyed being on camera.
I loved it because my dad, he had this flip video camera, it had just come out at that time. So he had it and I realized that you could see yourself in it.
Okay.
So I was very small and he showed me that, when I was like maybe even like 2, I wasn't even speaking properly. I was so fascinated with seeing myself on the screen. I would always go towards it, and when I started talking, I used to be like, show. So I would do, and then I'd be like, show me. So I always wanted to see myself on the big screen. But I think I was very confident until I was like 10.
Okay.
And then after that, I guess you become a teenager and everything, and you start feeling insecure and conscious. So then, in my teenage years, and in like until I started working, actually, I never performed. Like, I would always be in the background in school. If we were doing like a school performance, I would always be like, no, like I'll stand in the back. I didn't like it after that.
Okay.
Like, something changed in me where I became really shy and conscious and awkward.
And now
after
your
being-
job you have to do.
Yeah, now I have to do it and I love doing it, and I think I've gone back to that childhood innocence and fascination with the screen. But there was that period in the middle where I was really just like,
Okay.
Yeah.
You both also tell me this. How was childhood? Were you like an extrovert, introvert?
I think I was a total extrovert. I was the kind of guy who would come back from school and my friends would probably get out by 4:35, do their homework and all, but I would leave my house, put my bag, eat whatever I wanted to. Usually it would be chips and Maggie, and then go to some auntie's house where my friends are sleeping. They're not even there, and me and the auntie are chit-chatting. Like, I just wanted to be out of my house and chit-chat and talk. And then once I was done with that, I would go and play. Once I was done playing, I would watch TV. So I was always up to something.
Always out also.
I loved telling stories. I loved listening to stories. I loved being very active.
Nice.
So yeah, and as Ananya is saying, I think it was during my teenage years that I started getting conscious of certain things, and I think it happens to most people.
Right.
Yeah.
That you suddenly start getting conscious of how you look or certain things, and then that sort of pushes you back. and then you to figure how to then again bounce
Yeah.
back, because if you've decided to be an actor, you have to be shameless to a certain
Yeah.
degree.
Siddhant, what kind of a childhood do we go back to when you think of it?
Well, I was born in Balia, so my first 6 years in my memory, my childhood is always Balia. Because we moved here when I was 5.5, 6.
Okay.
We moved into a very small apartment, which was not so much fun. So for the first 5 years, I had a horse. I had cows. I used to go to the Ramleela with my Baba. वहाँ पे जाके समोसे खाता था मैं, रामलीला देखता था. ददरी मेला होता है बलिया में, वहाँ जाता था. I used to play in the fields, cricket, बगीचे, पेड़ चढ़ता था मैं भी, आम तोड़ता था बगीचों से. So I was like out there, and I was the youngest, of all my dad's brothers, and so I was pampered a lot.
Okay.
And I think my KG and my nursery was in Balia only. I couldn't speak English or Hindi. मैं सिर्फ भोजपुरी में बात करता था. So that was the best part, because my Baba used to pamper me a lot, and my Dadi. I remember, having my chai and parle ji. I used to love that time. So, and when we moved, there was a shift in a way where I didn't understand for the first 1 year. I used to cry a lot in school, जो यहाँ पे हमने किया था. And I was not fitting in because I didn't know the language, I didn't know anything, so I used to cry. It was hard for me. Also being away from Baba that time, so it was very, very hard. And then eventually I kind of settled in here, but then I think I shut down here. I was a very naughty kid. I was this little prince. In fact, that's my name in Balia. Even if I go today, they call me Prince because I was like a little prince there, and then suddenly I started, with the pressures of the, of this lifestyle, Mumbai, metro, ambition, so, small apartment, traffic, all of that suddenly changed something in me, and I became an introvert. I didn't play around. I mean, I used to play, but I was more like scared now. I don't know. I almost feel that these skyscrapers were almost kind of looking, on me. So then it eventually took some time after, I think when I was 16, 17, till I completed my CA. I was a very like introvert kind of a child.
Right.
But then when I started auditioning and धीरे धीरे जैसे जैसे life में confidence आया, then मैं थोड़ा थोड़ा खुलने लगा. और अभी भी लेकिन that part is there in me. Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, that's a little.
Nice. So, such different childhood,
Yeah.
such beautiful stories. Ananya, to you, when this story came, do you? What works for me is that you are playing someone who's your age. Situations could be similar in life. When this came to you, did you identify with the girl that you're playing?
A little too much, to the extent where I thought Arjun was like stalking me and spying on me and seeing every little thing that I do in my life.
Okay.
That's how real it was. And I think it was real pertaining to that period in my life, The things Ahana was dealing with, I was very, maybe I say I'm similar to her because in that pocket of time, I related to her a lot. Maybe now I feel a little different and grown up from that experience. But maybe because I did shoot that and I lived that character is why I feel more grown up and more mature in that aspect of things in life. So in that moment, I did relate to her a lot. And I think in every girl's life who's dealing with relationships in that way, she will feel a little bit like Ahana. Yeah.
What did you relate to in this entire story when he came? What were the things that you were like, wow, this is very real and my story?
I genuinely feel that Arjun and Nandini and Karan and Zoya and everybody who was responsible in casting us saw the essence of each of the characters that we've played.
Right.
I feel like when I read for Neil the first time, when I auditioned for Neil, I instantly related to his feeling of inadequacy and insecurity, and feeling financially insecure about where he comes from. Because he's surrounded by people who are probably better off and than him and his family. So I really felt that when I moved to Mumbai. It was a bit of a cultural shock.
Right.
Also, the language, as Sid is saying, in Jamshedpur, in the school that I went to in Loyola, no matter what your father did, you spoke in Hindi. You only spoke in English to your teachers.
Okay.
In Bombay, it wasn't quite like that.
And it was an English school? Or
It was an English medium school. It's one of the best schools in the country. It's called Loyola. It's a Jesuit school.
Right.
But you didn't speak in English with each other.
Right.
Yeah. It was just the norm. And if you did, then you were picked on. अंग्रेजी में बात करें. So it was that. So from that to coming here, I went to Podar in Santa Cruz, where a lot of my classmates were talking in English and I wasn't comfortable speaking in English. In fact, I could barely construct a sentence. I felt like very shook by the shift and the move. So like I feel like things like these, like Neil's insecurities and pretending to be somebody else in school versus who he is at home.
Right.
And then removing that frustration at home. You know, these kind of qualities I resonated very strongly with Neil.
Right, and see how far both of you all have come. It's such a thing of pride for you all, your parents, your friends. You know, your character, he goes on stage, rattles off anything in real life like that.
Absolutely nothing, sir. All the characters which I have played till date
Right.
are nowhere close to. I don't rap. People thought I was a rapper.
Yeah, we all made you in every interview.
Yeah.
Ek line.
I don't cheat. So yeah, nothing close to my life, and that's what's I think the fun part is.
Yeah.
Where I get to escape, you know, I get to acquire new skills, you know, kind of have empathy for the grey characters. You know, I always tend to choose grey characters. I don't know why.
Okay.
I don't like the black or white. I always tend to choose that little thin line because it's so much fun to play with the complexities, you know, of a
Right.
human brain.
True.
You know, there are people who say something but are thinking something else, and that's really that fascinates me a lot.
Right.
But yeah, nothing. Honestly, nothing which I can relate to. But I'm proud of what you know, the stand-up part, especially because that was very difficult. I was very nervous
Okay.
to go on stage and, you know, make people laugh. That's I think the most difficult thing in the world. So yeah, I struggled with that for longest time, and then Sapan, I would give credit to Sapan and Arjun for being, you know, so patient with me. But yeah, as a character, I think it's just it's not a reflection of me, but it's an imaginative.
When did that happen?
I just suddenly realized that
I
I
realized.
was like, wait, am I
cup is resting
dreaming?
on his chest. Like, what?
Yeah, so it's more like an imaginative extension of what I would like to portray on
Right,
screen.
but you know, you do it so convincingly. When you played a rapper, we believed you're a rapper. We believe you're a stand-up comedian.
Yeah.
That's why I asked you this. So well done with that. You know, this film has beautiful dialogues, beautiful lines. You know, one line says, "ऐसा लगता है we are connected. इतने अकेले शायद पहले कभी नहीं थे." How much of this you relate to? You can start.
Completely. Like, I think everyone in this time feels like that somewhere a little bit, and all of our attempt, at least mine right now, is to feel more connected to the real things in the real world. You know, we've all gotten very lost and stuck in this loop where we actually feel like, oh yeah, but I know what's happening in Sid's life, I know what's happening in Adarsh's life, but I don't know it because they've told me. It's because I've seen something, and that's what I'm choosing to believe, or that's the part of their life that I've seen, so I feel like I know everything about them. So then we don't feel like having a conversation. Then you're like, what's left to find out about someone, you know? Because you feel like you're seeing so much of them anyway. That mystery is gone somewhere, and that's why those real conversations, that catching up after long, sharing something, it's kind of gone because it's like diluted. Like you're sharing everything with everyone. Like nothing really feels special anymore.
So your character in the end comes to some lovely resolutions, you know. She says, phone niche aankhein upar. You know, these are things, how many people have told you all this?
You know, I was just thinking of actually what
Sure.
Ananya said, and I realized that in the 90s, the number of occupations that people had were limited
Yeah.
when I was growing up, right? You were either a teacher at a government school, or
Engineer,
you worked at a
doctor.
government bank, or you had a practice, or you had a shop. There were like pretty much 6 to 7 things. And everybody had a set time कि 9 बजे से शाम को 6 बजे, और फिर शाम को 6 बजे सब फ्री हो जाते रहे, या तो घर आके टीवी देखते रहे या पार्क में आके बैठते रहे, लोग बात करते रहे. I feel it's also got a lot to do with that, with how fixed your routines and your timetables were when you were growing up, and like those limited number of occupations, at least like in my surrounding, versus now when you know my friends are all working for like either a multinational company privately, or like our artists, and all our lives have become so erratic.
Correct. Yeah.
That there is no time to almost catch up, because nobody schedules a line
Right.
properly, and when
They used to prioritize spending time. Like I remember when I was young, my mom used to always go for tea, and I was like, "Why are you going for tea?" But it was a way to talk to people
meet
and
people,
connect
right,
and actually have conversation.
Right. Here, are you guys at your age realizing phone niche aankhein upar? Because I see y'all are realizing this has happened to y'all, your generation, and y'all are only realizing that, you know, that y'all are missing out maybe on something like that.
I realized it, but I've actually started spending more time on my phone after the film.
That's a work hazard.
I don't know if it's a work hazard. It's just my state of mind and what I'm going through in life right now.
Right. You told me in your last, we did an interview during Dream Girl 2, and you said you're not that bad with phones. You're okay.
I don't know. I think it depends, honestly. Like, I'm better with social media now. Like, I don't use it as much. But, like, I'm still on my phone a lot to talk to people. I've changed, at least I'm not on social media that
Right.
much.
Sid, how good or bad are you? How
I
much
think
time?
I'm doing pretty fine now.
Okay.
Since I think some time. I do not check my phone, especially when I'm working. I just have my again, when I'm having my breakfast, that's when I check my phone.
Okay.
Lunchtime and when my shoot ends.
That's it?
That's
Yeah.
it. Three
Wow.
three times a day, and the rest, if
When you're
anything,
working.
when I'm working.
When you're
yeah.
working.
And I have my team, so if anything happens, obviously I'll get to
Your
know.
team, yeah.
So I don't like it on me. I also music. So at times I like
Correct.
just
That's different.
zoning out and.
Man, I wish we had those. What was that? iPods.
iPods. I think I'm gonna
It
get.
was so
one.
nice,
Yeah,
because
yeah,
you
I
didn't
know,
have
I
to
just
look
saw
at your phone.
Right.
For listening.
Yeah, yeah.
So I have to wrap this, but before I wrap, I'm going to ask all three of you. 2020, she had lovely resolutions. What out of these, or any resolution that you're like, this year I will do this?
Maybe channelize my anger and angst in the right way.
You're an angry man.
I
You don't
feel
look
like yes, I do.
Okay.
I am angry.
Oh,
Because of a lot of reasons. No, not angry in the sense like I want to break things or anything, but it's more self-destructive than anything.
Okay.
So I know that, and it's a very natural emotion to have. If anybody's saying that I don't get angry, they're lying.
Right.
But to channelize it effectively is what's important. and
You've
that's what I want.
identified that's the first victory by itself.
I
That's
always identify everything, but I
second
don't work
step.
on a lot of
Second
it. It's second step.
right. Ananya, 2024.
I think mine would be to be more consistent with therapy, because I think that's something that I started this year, and it's something I want to carry forward. Even if like there's nothing that bad happening in life, I still want to be consistent with it and do it, follow through with it, because it's made a big difference in my
It's
life.
made a difference.
And yeah, and I think just mental health and getting mentally stronger and more independent. I think
Right.
that's
Nice.
Yeah.
Sid, क्या करना है 2024?
I want to do my wardrobe. It's so messy. I mean, I know it's a very tiny thing.
No,
it's a very tiny. But every time I go back from, my mom always does it and keeps it for me.
Okay.
But I want to do it myself, because when she arranges it, I can't find my clothes ever. And I'm like, Mummy, mera wo kahan hai? And that's the reason I get late. So I need to start doing it on my own and tell my mom not to do it. But she, out of love, every time I come back from shoot or a long schedule, she always has my bed and everything ready. But I want to do that on my own now. I need to, fix that. It's a very tiny thing, but it
Whatever
like change a
makes you
lot of
happy.
things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Best of luck, guys.
Thank you
and
so
this is a good
much.
film, and I really hope more and more people go out and watch it.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so
Thank
much,
you,
sir.
guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.